Welcome back to my lovely HP community as we were concluding our other episode 5D mystics and people who feel and sense deeply. I shared that we would chit chat a little bit about some stories. So, those of us who bring aliveness to love, life, and partnership, and that's because we live that frequency of enlightenment. We have the capacity to be our true self. We're an integrated brain, restorative embodiment. Okay, so the mindfully aware person, you can look into the other episode if you want. As a feminine, I wanted to give you the gist of why we continue to love more and how no one tests anyone between feminine and masculines, except for the ones who are not in the 5D community, at least here at IHP. Okay? So I'm going to start with a lovely little quote that came from my lovely body here in one of my exercises, this art therapy class thingy that I did. Candlelight illuminates damage beneath the feet with wave of lights. Okay, so when I look at the fact that I'm my own tree of life and you're your own tree of life and I'm a beloved and you're a beloved, okay, I know that you are a child and I'm a child. The difference is I'll know if you're an anima mundi child or not if you're a person who's able to use your mind in the beauty way and make way like the hummingbird to anywhere and everywhere in your prefrontal cortex, the upper world, here on earth, so you know how to self-regulate, attune, and to be in a subconscious, unconscious that looks at yourself and at others abundantly. No smoky mirror, no falsities, no inner critic, outer critic, okay? So it's once you are consistently infinite higher human conscious potential experiencing that I know I got a person who knows how to navigate the 5D plane that I talked to you about, and that's mystic or not, and that's where our lovership begins. So until you are not your full inner child, you don't know self-regulation, and you don't know I love to love, and my baby, he loves to laugh, and he loves to live, and he loves to learn, and he loves to love, and he loves to expand and not cast stones. Okay, so great. The feminine here will let you all in on a fun fact, which is we don't have this challenge in starting something new. We have the opportunity to tap into a potential relationship when we're meeting our masculines. And that's it. They get to bring to us who they are. We get to bring to them who we are. When you know that trauma is relational and that healing it requires a person to go to therapy and own their sense of self, and then they're ready for relationship, okay? And in that relationship, they now know how to bring their true self into the picture. So that's where we're at. We're here with healthy adults, functional adults, mindfully living and loving people. And as a feminine, this is what I've always been. So with my teenage boyfriend, this is why when he was cheating, it wasn't something that was a make it or break it. No, I learned about till death do part, sickness and in health, with God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. In fact, actually, here's where I learned about monoamory, monogamy relationships. So I'm devoted to my partner. They're cheating. I'm finding it interesting that they don't know how to tell me the truth. No, I found it cowardly, but also every year was a new year. So I didn't say, let me put the past in stone and continue to say it's going to happen again and again. No, that's for the not feminine people. When you have your feminine, it's an open heart, divine feminine. So I'm an inner child adult, okay? So I'm not going to do characterological distinctions or judgments. If you keep the past alive within you, you will become dead to the present, Sadhguru. So I don't have the past of Maria charged. I don't have, oh my gosh, my teenage boyfriend broke up with me. He cheated on me. All men are going to be that. That's not what happened as I got older. And even with my twin flame and then flames, yes, emotions, definitely, but not, oh my God, I won't ever love again. No, the feminine here with mysticism consistently knew of my timeline. In fact, it's funny because if you tell people who don't believe in us mystics, they just think it's a bunch of bullshit, which is okay because I totally get it. But it's not. It's amazing for us, those of us who experience it. And then we have our lovely sciences community, the ones who look into it. They call it the hard problem of consciousness, the matrix, right? So we have two ends of the spectrum. We have people who know about that which I experience and mystics. that which will accept us, and we have a good time with those. So we'll welcome each other when we have shared commonalities. We welcome each other when we have shared depth of experience. That's why IHP is going to build a community of empowered human beings who love to love and love to live and love to laugh and love to love and love to learn and not cast stones. And no demon, no Lucifer, no romanticizing, meaning let me give you a pass because of anything, but I also don't lecture you. I'm not decent enough to be saluted. I don't lecture you. I also don't set in stone my stories, my relationships, because I have a person. I don't have a mathematical equation. So this is that other part of when you're a person who is a feminine with clairs. My faith in God gave me the capacity to know that God decides everything for everyone. That's it. My mysticism and me tapping into the sphere of Akash, I know my past lives, I know future, I know other people's, I do readings, okay? So I do acknowledge that sphere and us having a plane of common consciousness that we go and then come. I can know that sciences looks at it differently, and I don't have the verbiage from there, and spirituality I use my own verbiage, but we got Sadhguru, we got a bunch of different things. So I don't need to really address it technically, but those who experience it, we know that there's an infinity and beyond, a double infinity in fact, which is why a feminine doesn't have questions. We only have answers, and then we're curious. And that's because I'm an adolescent essence and a whole 3-year-old, and I'm Purusha Prakriti, pure consciousness, pure energy. I don't have a doubt of what's going to happen. I don't have fear from that which is God. No, I actually already know what God's truth is and the Holy Spirit. The ones who don't know it are the same ones who I'm not really, again, addressing, because we're not going to be here as people who are trying to get 3D, 4D to change their mind. They're going to keep doing their thing. I thought that 4D mystics would awaken to truth. Then I realized their story is too good to be true, and that we have a bunch of lack of self-aware, accountable, regulating people like the Zen master, because their window might not ever move into a window of welcome to the depth of their emotional, mental, and physical plane as a whole, internally securely attached 1-year-old. Okay, so that's the part. They don't have to move into their ventral vagal state. They don't have to learn to self-regulate, self-attune, and self-accountable. They can continue being Cuscos. We won't have anything to say about Cuscos. Hey Cusco, what's up? All a feminine will know about a Cusco is that they're not their own mother, their own father, their own star, or their eternal child. No, they're an orphan who doesn't want a mentor because they don't want to go to therapy. They don't want to claim their shadow parts. They don't want to claim anything. They just like to lead with all that, because that's where the past was like that 3D. Yes, so they want to lead with suffering. They are okay with their maladaptive patterns of behavior and their adaptive child patterns. Am I not decent enough to be saluted? That's an unhealthy self-worth person. But I laugh when I share the story, because that's it. I'm a feminine. That's exactly why a feminine won't be sad to start something new. Let me read to you. So when I use that word feminine, one, we all have different energetic imprints, but I'm using it in the way of the feminine is the circle. The masculines are the line. And please remember, I use a lot of different ways to give you visual, because a masculine is also a flag without a flag post. When they're a true masculine, then they're going to be a flag with a flag post. The distorted feminines, they're a flag without a flag post too. Okay? And that's because all of those equate, as long as you have the incapacity to self-regulate and self-attune and self-soothe in a healthy way whenever all those 6 basic emotions come up, then I know you don't have the depth of your experience of you yet. It's not good or bad, but you don't own, observe, witness, narrate your sense of self. Your sense of self is paused, and you don't own your core narrative relational solo self in a way of using the inner growth mindset. So you're not going to be a lover to me. You don't know how to love. You don't know how to love yourself first. So the female feminine is the one element, while the masculine, there's near infinite potential of life with the masculine, but they need to be captured, contained, given, limitation, and nurtured. Now, this is the part where, while this gives man and woman roles, right, and that's why you see those who will want to stick to that I'm not here for the limited consciousness people. I'm here for the infinite higher human consciousness. Again, mentor to those who want to be their self, not the ones who want to pretend. As a feminine, you have your own feminine. Now, you might be a masculine or a feminine. You'll know who you are. I'm a nurturer, inner and outer. So that means gooey, wee, wee. And I want to hug you, and I want to welcome you, and I want to have you feel that you're happy, and that's everything that I am. So when you bring me a mood, I will be sensitive. I'm not as sensitive as I was when I was a kid because I'm a grown-up, but I will be sensitive to it because I just wanted to make you smile, and I got humbugged. Now I know how to reassure my 1-year-old though, and my 3-year-old. So this is the part of when you know how to be an independent person. Now that's where though you will not make my ideal partner if you don't know how to love, live, laugh, and learn, and love some more, and dance, and to be a person who doesn't have laundry because you don't know how to regulate your nervous system. You don't know how to explore the depths of the seriousness with playfulness, which is Krishna Lila. So you don't know how to be a leader. Therefore, for me, the feminine, you haven't masculine tapped into your potential. Feminine, you haven't tapped into your potential. You don't know how to be fearless and bold. You don't know how to be playful with the depths of your emotional, mental, and physical plane. I'm here again as a speaker right now, content creator, mentor. I'm trying to let you know it's easy for some of us to be playful because we've chosen it again and again and again. The ones who don't believe us, it's okay. We're not going to be able to prove our bodies to you, and we're using our own brain and mind and embodiment. Okay, great. So again, it's not a competition, but I do love to love and live and learn and laugh and know that there are those who want to embody this and can because of the smart one therapists who are allowing anybody who wants to own their sense of self to go there and own it. Two, people who want to feel and they want to love and they understand this entire discourse. So a feminine, I know that sometimes I get, explanatory, and I'm trying to have more of you here. The feminine doesn't look at, I tried to make it, I had to make it on my own. I'm not going to come capture you. That would actually be as if I would not allow a bird mother for my children to go fly. So humanly speaking, I know that you can, one, heal trauma because it's one healable, all the smart therapists, but you need to have that will to go to therapy, get your sense of self, all that. Then it's relational. And so you're going to have people and you want them to be healthy self-worth. Otherwise, they're going to have characterological distinctions and judgments for you when you get into one of those moods. And you don't need that. Especially if you're healing like Kylie. She's healing from narcissism. She's already good with borderline at this point, but she needs healthy self-worth people around her for when she falls back, because it's tough, because her first 3 years of life were not easy, and whoever knows whatever else. And at the end of the day, this is data, good data, not pretend data. While the ones who want to continue labeling narcissists as evil, Knievel, medieval, they're the lack of educated human beings who don't accept the new data. They don't have to. So again, in our relationships of feminine, especially one that is in this mysticism, God, faith, I already got taught by God how to be humble. I didn't need to become and get clairs to do I forgive. It was Jesus's doing. And also, it's not hard to feel. Again, I'm just saying I'm sensitive. I feel first. In fact, all my words come after the feeling. That's why I don't use words the same way other people. I'm not a linear speaker. I'm a little circle. And I love when I am loved by those who have that capacity to notice that I speak differently. And then we find a way to tango, because that's what love is. It's we get to tango together and have a good time. So when you care about each other, you don't want to bring any type of bummed out, again, you want to bring the best of emotional, mental, and physical moments. So a feminine will always bring that. And when they are not able to, they accept that sometimes people don't want to do that tango, and so you learn how not to. But again, for our life partners and for people who we build with, is going to be the harmony, the rainbow of colors. It's going to be people who are supporting each other. It can be like a Diego, Manny, and Sid type family, with us being Pachas. But you're going to be with somebody who has a Pacha type modality, because it's people who navigate self-attuning, self-soothing, self-regulating in a way of I love. secure attachment, you see? No dysregulation. So we have aliveness, and that's why you're experiencing the depths. Also, it's because you're vulnerable. So you choose to open up the soul heart of you. This is something very key that I'm going to share and conclude with. So for the feminine here, as a mystic, I know who my masculines are. That's immediate. If it's somebody that is meant to be on my path as a person that I grow old with, if there's a hint of romance, that will be something I'll know. If there's not, that is something I'll know. I don't have questions, which is why when there have been in the years men who present themselves and they say, but we have this bond, we have this, I say, yeah, but that's not how I feel. That's it. And when they say, but you don't know, oh, no, I do know. And this is, again, those areas that the individuals who have doubt of themselves is a whole different story. When you're feminine, the way that I'm telling you, we don't have doubt. And as a person who is with clairs, I know of my oversoul. So I've recognized, in fact, through the years, thanks to my twin flames, my soulmates, there's a very clear way that I today can tell you, thanks to a couple of soulmates, how I know what I know, and I haven't been wrong about that which is sent my way for my expansion. So the feminine, remember, it's your inner child. When you do not have orphaned parts of you, you're completely in tune with yourself. My subconscious is not shitty. If it has emotions, that is emotions. So the minute I will have encountered your gaze, like it happened with my rainbow baby child, I'll never forget that moment, like so many others with my twin flames and with other soulmates, because they're magical. And although our lovely sciences community, again, they look into the relational field so they can explain scientifically why we will have dynamics. This is exactly why we can use science. It can talk to us about the sphere of consciousness. I'm going to say I come in with mysticism as a spirituality individual, and knowing that they can blend. They don't cancel each other, but some of us, we come from this end of the spectrum. So it's really different, because here's where we have more, and science is more technical. So it's kind of like, you know, how people, when they are doing research, right? So they kind of it doesn't hit them, doesn't hit home. It's just a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so some people, they're numerical. We're not numerical. The mystic community, and those of you who love to also blend it in, you don't have to believe in it, but you love the color. You love the frequency, the vibrancy. You see what I'm saying? So we don't get lost in a story as if some of us are more special. The earth and the universe doesn't need any of us to move into 5D. Okay, but our oversoul, it's something amazing. When we have our spiritual retreats, maybe I'll share some stuff, but there's like some stories that really you wouldn't believe. Things that you end up uncovering without you having planned anything. And that's a part of why when I saw what they did with Twin Flames, I knew it was for the community that needed that, because they don't own their own self the way that those who do own their self will know. But yeah, there's never been a question in my mind about me and my oversoul moving exactly to where I, Maria, and this feminine wanted to be. And the moment that I'm like, I don't know if you're going to get over that hump, Maria. No, you'll get over the hump. Don't worry. You'll get over that. You just don't know yet. It's cool. That's because of, again, growing up with God and knowing I have 2 hands, 2 feet, and He doesn't ever send me anything that I cannot handle and that isn't going to serve me, humanity, something positive. Because God isn't some scary monster that is going to come kill me or make me fear shit my pants and do some. No, that actual entire embodiment of God is sad. Because one, it's nature. It's our evolutionary ancestors with the animals. Which is why I won't pick a bear. I mean, I'd be stupid. Obviously, if he's a serial killer, no, I won't pick the man. If I know that there's a potential that he's going to flip on me, he's bitter about women, I'd probably pick the bear, because that's going to give me somebody who, yeah, won't be a man I want to be around if he has a vendetta against women, for example. And if he harbors resentment, or in fact, I'd have to probably check their trauma stuff. That way I could make sure, because this is that part of where there's men on screen, they speak out, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I know where your God comes from. Yes, I can tell by every inch of you where you come from too, because speaking contempt, disgust after fucking, that's pretty brutal. And then shame and no therapy, no mention makes you completely brutal in a way that only a person who is emotionless is going to speak like that, meaning you lack the bilateral integration. Excuse me. They have emotions, it's just not the emotional depth. Also, there's shame and blame. Anyways, long story short, that's a human being alongside other human beings who are for the people who don't want to get their depth online. Because again, that's scary because it requires therapy, and then it requires you being in a fetal position with the therapist as you now know, okay, I'm going to reclaim my childhood, and I'm going to reclaim my parts, and I'm going to reclaim, and I'm going to in time learn to be my true self. But that part about all the emotions needing to get back online is where it's you in the fetal position. So please, again, not all people want to move it over here. There's reasons why. The ones of you who are instead, again, loving, we're here for the ones who are wanting more love. And as for me, what I can tell you is all of our oversoul as a feminine is going to lead us to exactly where we want it to go. And a feminine won't think of it as something that is it's something special to share with the people. So when I have my mystic masculines, I love those. My rainbow baby child, for example, because they don't belittle any of that which will have been and will continue to be a part of something that we experience. And so there's that. And so, yeah, you can't share life with a person who doesn't respect what is part of what you are, doesn't allow you to live it in the way you live it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where your depth comes with that. It's pretty clear those which are aspects that are compatible, those which are not, which is also why, again, it's something not personal when people don't find the depth that they're sharing together. It's something that allows recalibration of relationships. All relationships recalibrate for the feminine. The ones who are not here in that place of recalibration as a secure connection. So I'm a safe haven, secure based person. Okay, I build only relationships that I will invest myself in. So I'm not going to say you're out. The people who don't want me in, that's something I respect. If people, again, are offended, I apologize, stuff like that. But what I'm saying is a feminine takes ownership. I'm in my ventral vagal state. I don't disown. Maria's not an orphan. She's all here. She is flawed. She is imperfect. Some people will feel that she's awful, and she can say sorry. So again, this is the part. You do what you can, but you don't change who you are. When you have temperament and the way that you think and feel and are, you're going to say, this is who I am. And the ones who are true lovers, this is where we accept each other. Nobody changes. You get out of the maladaptive behavior, that, yes. You get out of the fake self, yes. So those people feel changed, which is why when you hear any of those stories from the yoga people, like Sadhguru, every time they go away, what I know has basically died is the fake self that people in Cusco's attitude. So the adaptive child. So finally, they're done with the rigidity. The people who are non-bilaterally integrated, they finally get bilateral integration. You see what I'm saying? They get into the frontal cortex. I'm bringing the human stuff. So again, we'll be back with more, but just wanted to share some stories and a little bit of chit chat on the feminine end of the spectrum. We already know that we're going to love more. And we're grateful for our lovers and our oversoul and our experiences. And we don't call anybody energy vampire, dark aura. There's no part of our oversoul that we would cut. We know how to clear for the benefit of the energy sphere. And we actually know that there's growth always, because the opportunity is this. I unconditionally love you. I forgive. I know that you don't know that your past self and your hurt and your suffering and your mannerisms and your mood and all this is you not knowing how to self-regulate a dysregulated nervous system, you not knowing how to handle whatever's coming up, and you being completely unaware of those first 3 years of life in any explicit way, but it's all implicit. So you don't know how to handle the depths of sensation feelings or any of it. And what you learned is what you learned to survive in wherever it is that you lived in. So you bring into me what you lived. And I don't have to, and I won't bring it back. I'll bring to you unconditional love, because that way I can provide you a choice point as a feminine. And that's when I'll know if you want to be that inner child of yours or, not. And I'll be able to work with that. So, again, we'll be back with more. Have a good one.